as I fall asleep.
Well, if you like these videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want to. It's burning. Christmas deadvertising. An emergency C-section is required. I don't think I can make that voice with a straight face. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm for this fucking game. I thought they were gonna release more patch notes. You know what? They'll probably release the patch notes right after these other patch notes after I do this thing. I mean, people want to hear me talk about this bullshit, dude. I haven't even had the game installed since what was it? The game came out eventually June. Like I said, I made those few videos for the game. The game turned out exactly how I said it was going to turn out. You know, the game was old by the time it came out. I don't even have the game installed in my PS4 anymore. It was uninstalled basically immediately. And you know, you watch all these other content creators, and what do? These other content creators, if you go watch, they just literally regurgitate the shit that I said about the game early on, how it was going to work when they were telling me I was going to be wrong. Okay, the game is fucking old. I'm not horny to play it. I think it's ridiculous that on some level. I mean, think about it. The game is kind of 2 years old. Honestly,
it's 2 years old.
You know what I mean? But since it's been officially released, is this like the 5th patch or some bullshit? Are you kidding me? Anyway, in the previous update, we adjusted the character balance without changing the overall game mechanics. Yeah, when they were talking about this, we're going to be adjusting the overall game mechanics. I was like, man, are they actually going to fucking change like this stupid wall? Are they going to like, fix the wall a little bit? But it's just like, maybe there's more, right? We have revised the qualities of Faultless Defense, extended the overall input buffer time, increased the time window for throw clashes. You know what? For this, I'm going to go on a little bit of a ramble here, and I don't know if this is exactly what they meant, so take this with a grain of salt. I know I talked about this in some game theory videos. I'm going to ramble here, but sometimes people actually like hearing me ramble about video games. You know, there's this whole your turn, my turn thing. This heavy emphasis on frame data, you know, the cliff notes before the match that has been progressively becoming more important in video games throughout so many years now, right? And I think it's funny because, and again, I've talked a little bit about this before. When this game came out, there's all these like, and I think I even made a joke about it in one of the FGC and NBC videos about like delay your strings. You know, people are like, oh, you gotta delay your strings. That's the mix-up. Delay your strings. And I think if you actually think about this from a certain perspective, it actually shows the hypocritical nature of the fighting game community, and it really goes to show you that people just only care if they win or they lose. They don't care about the game actually being good. And what I mean by this is people want this, you know, people are like, oh, it's your turn, my turn thing, right? Again, watch all these game theory videos I talk about. Really trying to drive home again. I know I'm rambling here and I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want you to think about, you know, you got to think about a video game on a deeper level, right? So when you got people like, oh, your turn, my turn, right? But now you have people, it's actually becoming a meme. Delay your strings. Delay your strings, Bob. You got to delay your strings, right? Don't you think that's kind of interesting? The video game community at large, maybe, fighting game community, wants there to be such clear-cut, distinct times when it is your turn, times when it is not your turn. And I've always said it should only be your turn when you pick your character. Everything else, it's up to you, right? And now you have people defending Strive. You know what I mean? All these people that talk about how great video games are nowadays, right? Quotation marks like, oh, it's your turn, my turn. You got to know the frame data exactly when you can do this, exactly when you can do that. But then they are, you know, promoting and praising Guilty Gear for being able to, you can delay your strings. What an amazing mind game. You can delay your strings so long. If you think about a character like Kai, and I've showed this in videos, his frame data is so terrible. The fact that he can delay his strings so long is almost like the mix-up in a weird kind of ghetto way. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like his frame data is so bad, they had to make it so you can delay moves so long, so at least there is a little bit of hesitancy in punishing you because your frame data is... They've literally turned it delaying your strings into a mix-up, which then again goes back to the whole point that I thought the video game community just told you that they hate when they can't control something, right? They want it to always be clear-cut. It is your turn. It is my turn. Now you are promoting, and I'm trying to think of this English word. My English is terrible. Sorry. My English is not that good, so the words escape me sometimes, but praising, delaying your strings as like so amazing. And the thing is, Guilty Gear before, it's not like the game was not unlenient before in delaying your strings in the first place. So, when I just think of like increased buffer time, are you going to be delaying your strings even longer? You know what I mean? Or is this just in the buffer, or is it really just the buffer time of a special? Because I've said this before, and I even showed it on stream. Man, moves kind of buffer very bizarrely in the game already, almost too much, right? Increased time window for throw clashes. I mean, I don't know. We have revised the startup time for their fastest normals, the way counters work for aerial normals. I've said that before. I actually said that before, that I think the counter system was one of the most interesting things about the game, because there definitely is a pretty clear-cut new spin on counters, because, like I said, God, it's been so long since I even played the game and watched it. It's like, counters are actually based on a time system, not like a normal kind of idea of you just have so many frames more, right? So that's why I showed very specific things in my videos for counter hits. It's like, it's actually a time system, and you can abuse it to do more damage than normal. And I do think that's an interesting spin on fighting games. But, like I said, Strive overall, it's not like the game has nothing interesting in it. And even the, delaying of moves, etc., kind of leads into potential more counter hit situations that then potentially display that aspect of the game. But, still overall, the game is pretty meh. No one's doing anything new in it that I haven't talked about, that I've seen. I mean, fuck, I made a video telling you guys how the announcers were going to call the game. I literally made a video showing how the announcers were going to call the game, and what do you know? The announcers called the game exactly how I said they were going to call it. That's how obvious this game was. Increase the number of moves that can be canceled into a jump or air dash. I don't know. I want to see some more specific changes. I want to see if they change Kai's Fireball. You know what I mean? As I said before, this game is kind of a game I would rather play than do videos for. And because it's not a game that I feel I need to do videos for, because I already called how the game was going to work exactly how long ago now, there's no need for it to be even on my PS4. So I've never even put it in again, because just like, well, it's kind of a game I'd rather just play, but I don't want to play it. So hopefully the new changes will be cooler. To begin with, a partial discussion of the game mechanic. Like I said, I assumed that they were going to be changing a little bit more than just the qualities of faultless defense, increased increased time window for throw clashes. I feel like that is something that doesn't take a month and a half to do. Does it take a month and a half to go into your game and say like, oh, you gotta, let's change the value of this number. You have so many frames to tech a throw. Let's add a few more frames to it. Does that take a month and a half? Is this fucking rocket science? You have people that make fan-made games nowadays that are more interesting than real games, I feel like. I'm not impressed. But, people want me to talk about this stuff sometimes. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really play a lot of video games. The only reason I even do Dragon Ball FighterZ stuff is because something I can do easily when I'm bored, put in the game for a few minutes, do a combo. Like I said, I hope the game gets better. I hope it gets more interesting. Hopefully they release some more of these patch notes. This was a little cock tease. Maybe it's just going to be a complete cock tease and there's nothing really to show. But I don't know. That's me rambling again. Really, I just hopefully you get what I'm talking about when I talk about the whole kind of people dick sucking, your turn, my turn, blah, 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 blah. This is so amazing. This is how fighting games should be. And then you have these same people. It's like, oh, delay your strings. How amazing. Like, you couldn't delay your strings before. They just keep making it more excessively in this game. And the only thing that excessively delaying your strings for this game that shows that is a potential positive aspect is it puts a potential more emphasis on the counter hit system in the game, which I do think is legitimately interesting, right? But in terms of it being hypocritical that you see these content creators, supposedly smart guys, who are just sucking games off or being your turn, my turn. Now they praise the game. Delay your strings more. We need more buffer time. We need more delayed strings. Like, it's like delaying your strings is legitimately just the mix-up now. I don't know. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Probably not. I don't know. I'm too smart for you guys. You know what I mean, dude? I don't know. Fuck me. I gotta go. I actually gotta go do some shit. So, if you like the videos, like, sub, comment, share, support the channel if you want.